guys, welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 1. Today we're going to be talking about addition properties and subtraction rules. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Don't get freaked out if you're like, Mrs. Hamer, this is tricky. Because we practice these every single year. You'll practice them next year, and the following year, and the following year. Okay, you'll see them in Alex. So don't be concerned if it's feeling a little overwhelming. So addition properties can be used to help solve addition problems. Okay, so our addition properties we're going to talk about are the commutative property, which, here's an example. 1 plus 4 is the same as, 4 plus 1 is the same as 1 plus 4. So it kind of talks about how we can switch those numbers back and forth. The associative property says the way in which the numbers are grouped when added does not change the sum, which sum again is the answer. So that means if I have 5 plus 2 plus 3, I could choose to add 5 plus 2 first, or I could do 2 plus 3 first. And in the end, I'm still going to get the answer of 10. Then lastly, we have the identity property, which just means if I add 0 to a number, the answer is going to be itself. Okay, so let's just start practicing here. Let's take a look at example 1 here. Carlos is buying the items shown. Does the order in which the musical instruments are scanned change the total cost? So he's buying a triangle for $10 and a drum for $20. Does it matter if I do 10 plus 20 or 20 plus 10? Well, let's see. 10 plus 20 is $30. 20 plus 10 is $30. So does it matter? Does it change if we add 10 plus 20 or 20 plus 10? No, it doesn't, and that's because of the commutative property of addition. I already talked about these, so let's keep practicing. There were 16 people at the pool on Saturday. There were no people at the pool on Sunday. How many people were there on Saturday and Sunday? Okay, so if I have 16 people plus 0 people on Sunday equals 16, this is the identity property of addition. It's the identity property of addition because we're just adding 0 to 16 to get 16. So there were 16 people at the pool on Saturday and Sunday. You can use properties and rules to find the unknown or missing number in a number sentence. Let's look at example 3. Find the unknown in 10 minus blank equals 10. So here's we're going to talk about subtraction rules here. When you subtract 0 from any number, the result is the number. So the unknown is going to be 0, right? 10 minus 0 is 0. So here are our subtraction rules. When you subtract 0 from any number, the result is the number. 22 minus 0 is 22. 14 minus 0 is 14. Another rule is when you subtract any number from itself, the result is 0. 16 minus 16, 0. 20 minus 20, 0. All right, let's do some practice problems. Guided practice. Find each unknown. Draw a line to identify the property or rule used. Okay, so we have 19 minus box equals 19. Right? I know I'm going to need to put 0 in there. I see it's a subtraction symbol. So I know that it's going to be a subtracting one. When you subtract 0 from any number, the result is the number. That's what happened, yep. Okay, 5 plus blank plus 2 is the same as 5 plus 9 plus 2. Now I'm noticing over here I have a 9, which means that this side is missing a 9, so it can be balanced out. So the box is going to equal 9. And my key word here, you guys, is grouping. And the key word with the associative property is grouping. Now what does grouping mean? It means parentheses. Could also mean brackets. We probably won't see brackets much. We'll mostly see parentheses. So I know that this one is the associative property. And here we have 74 plus 68 is the same as blank plus 74. I'm noticing we're switching them around. 74, 68, 68, 74. When I'm switching them around, that means I'm using the Commutative property of addition. Okay. Now, this is the part of the video where you can stop. If you say, Mrs. Hamer, I remember practicing this last year, and I'm pretty good at it. Let's stop. If you'd like to watch a couple more examples, go ahead. If you start to watch the homework and you say, oh yeah, I get this, just stop. You don't have to do all the problems. Or if you want to watch for one problem of the homework, that's fine too. You can just watch one problem. So let's go do some extra practice problems. Again, extra, which means you don't have to do them. Okay, complete each number sentence. Identify the property or rule used. So 85 plus 0 is 85. Now I'm noticing the addition sign. So I know this is the identity property of addition. And how I know that is it says 85 plus 0 is itself 85. Okay, now we have 96 plus 13 equals 13 plus, I'm noticing they're switching around, 96 and 13, 13 and 96. Just going to go there. And so that's the commutative property of addition. Next, we're doing a subtracting one. Something minus 0 is 37. Well, it's going to be itself 37, right? So here we have the subtraction rule. That any number where 0 is subtracted from it is that number. Okay, now here's the dead giveaway one. Look at these grouping symbols. What's the property with the grouping symbols? Well, here we go. Let's figure it out first. We've got 15, 23, and 7. 15 blank and 7. What number am I missing? Missing 23. So this one's saying if I take 15 and 23 and add it first, then add 7, or if I take 23 and 7 first, then add 15, I'm going to get the same answer. And that's the associative property of addition. Associative property of addition. Okie dokie, there we have our properties and our subtraction rule here. Let's keep going. While bird watching, Gabrielle saw 6 robins, 3 blue jays, and Chase saw 3 robins and 6 blue jays. Who saw more birds? Tell which property you used. Okay, so Gabrielle saw 6 plus 3. Chase saw 3 plus 6. Look at that. They can equal each other because of the commutative property of addition. Okie dokie. Here we go, some brain builders for homework. Brooke has 15 math problems, some social studies problems, and 5 science problems. She has 29 problems in all. Use mental math to determine how many problems she has for social studies. Tell which property you use. So here's what I'm seeing. She has 15 math problems plus, we don't know, social studies problems plus 5 science problems equals 29. So if I add together the 2 things that I can do, look at this, I can add 15 plus 5 plus a question mark. And really I would be putting parentheses around here because I want to do that first. Now it would be the associative property, right? Equals 29. So here I'm seeing I have 20 plus question mark equals 29. What do I need to add to it? 9. So the question mark equals 9 social studies problems. And what property did I use? The associative. And I use the associative because I have 3 numbers and I'm switching them around. So that's the associative property of addition. Okay, in hopes of making this video a little shorter, I'm going to skip number 7. And let's do a quick vocabulary check. Write a number sentence that demonstrates each property. So a number sentence is just using that, like 1 plus 5 equals 6. So the commutative property of addition is like 3 plus 5 equals 5 plus 3. Notice how those just flip-flop, flip-flop. That's commutative property of addition. The associative property would be like, okay, well, let's say I wanted to add 1 plus 2 plus 3. And whenever we see parentheses, it means do it first, okay? So if I look here and I want to do this one first, or if I'm going to add these 3 numbers, I could take 1 plus 2 plus 3 and say, hey, I want to add 2 and 3 first to make a 5, and then add 1 to make a 6. Or the first option, I was going to take 1 and 2 to make a 3 and add a 3. I'm doubling, and so I get a 6. But notice I get the same answer. Then the identity property would be like 9 plus 0 equals itself, its identity, 9. Okay, quick here. What number sentence represents the commutative property of addition? So that's the flip-flop, flip-flop. 36, 14, 14, 36. I'm flip-flopping them. So there's the commutative. This one's identity. This one's associative. Notice those grouping symbols. And then this is one of our subtraction rules. All right, that's all I have for you for today. I'm hoping this video is a little shorter, and I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions.